I'll start with the good news out of this week, Michael. Holly back in the squad. Can you just talk us through how that's come about and what made now feel like the right time to bring her back in?
Yeah, look, she's been working extremely hard the last 3 months that I've been in charge. She's been doing all the right things, working with our medical team, and they're doing an amazing job with her and the squad in general, to be honest. Um, and probably the last 5, 6 weeks, she started integrating into full team training and contact. She played her last week on the bye for us. We had an internal match against under 15 boys. She played 30 minutes there and pulled up really well. So yeah, we're very confident and we think this is the right time to put her in. And depending on the match and how that plays out, how many minutes she gets. But yeah, it's great to have her at least available.
Obviously, she's had such a history with the ACLs. It sounded like earlier, sort of pre-season, she was anticipating maybe getting back quite late. Has she come on really quickly? And how do you juggle that? Because obviously, there's always the fear, God forbid that it happens again.
Yeah, look, I think when I came in 3 months ago, the conversation was that her her recovery from the ACL last season was going a little bit slow, and that it was going to be around Christmas, maybe early Jan was the moment to probably get her back fit. And then I think over the last few months, she's sort of been ticking all the boxes, and her strength testing is very high and balanced on both sides of her body, and that's very very important when coming back. So everyone's very confident that she's ticked all the boxes. She's very confident. She's been in full team training for 4 weeks now. She's played an internal match against under 15 boys, like I mentioned earlier, which is a high intensity, a lot higher than what we play in our own league. So yeah, we're very confident.
I guess just one last from me on that, Michael, just the reaction from the players. I mean, this is a pretty tight knit group. You've had them together for ages. They've seen her do. A lot of them would have seen her do two knees. How was the reaction when you said she's getting back in there? Because I imagine you've been holding her back for a bit.
Yeah, I think the biggest reaction was probably about 5 weeks ago when she first joined into one of our first rondos, and there was a nice get around her there. So, look, the most important thing for her is that she's feeling confident in her body. Um, the rest, she's going to take time to get back to 100% and her best. But we're willing to push that. We're not putting too much pressure on her. I just wanted to go out and enjoy her football. That's the most important thing.
So, Michael, when you say she's been training for about 4 or 5 weeks, and I'm assuming that half an hour she got against the boys' team's the only match minute she's played. So, is it going to take quite a while for her to ramp up and I just find fitness, let alone the ACL, just match fitness?
No, I think conditioning wise, we do a lot of conditioning games as well. So on Wednesday, we played a 26-minute conditioning match. So we've been building her. So we're pretty confident she's got 30, 40 minutes in her, and then we'll slowly build from there. But depending on the match, we never calculate when a sub's going to be. So whenever we think she's needed, then that'll be the time we bring her on. What's best for the side.
And basically, once you get her out there, it's basically just going to be like the requirements of the game and her fitness that will dictate the minutes that she played. Like with an ACL like this, she's just out there and she's got to absorb the contact and ride all of those things.
Oh, yes. Like when she started first contact, the girls were a little bit hesitant with her when she started full contact about 4 weeks ago. But if anything, she's been very physical to our players. So she's definitely not scared. She gets stuck in. She feels very confident, as I mentioned earlier. And there's been a lot of contact happening over the last 2, 3 weeks in challenges. Everyone's fighting for spots in our team. So we encourage that in training. So we feel she's ready. She feels she's ready. Depending on the match, I know she can play 30, 40 minutes and run that out reasonably well. So depending on the game and when we think she's needed, we'll use her.
I guess just the way that your attack's been working so well, Michael. I know that your results wouldn't dictate how much you play anyway, but does it even just take that bit of pressure off? You've got Mariana and Lourdes and other players chipping in on the goals front and the creativity front as well. So with a Holly, you can just say, "Come on and do what you can, cause a bit of mayhem when you come on. Like, it's not that saviour sort of thing, right? It's not like, oh, we're struggling for goals, we're getting Holly back. It's you're already firing on most cylinders, if not all. She can come in and just add another layer, I guess.
Exactly right. You made a very good point there. We're not relying on her, so she's going to add to the quality that we have in our squad. We all know she's a super player. Is she going to come back after nearly 13 months and be the Holly that we knew before? Probably not. But if she does, great. But the most important thing is that she comes out, she feels confident in her body, she's enjoying her football, and she tries to help the team win. And that's been even her mentality the last couple of weeks as we've sort of been planning towards getting her right for this match. She's just excited to be back. So, and as we are, to have her back in the team. So,
what sort of a lift has it given? Not Holly, but you go away for the international break, come back, and you got a bunch more Cat Matilda's goal scorers. Akali Rosback made her return after so many injury issues with the national team. Must have given a fair bit of lift and confidence, and probably a bit of fire in the belly to some of your other players too.
Yeah, definitely. Look, we have almost a fully fit squad. There's probably about 19 players up for selection this week, which is a good headache for me to have. We have a very strong squad. Very proud of the girls that went away on international duty and represented Australia very proudly. A couple scored as well, which is great. So hopefully they bring that goal scoring form back to us as well. We also had TJ, who went and represented Serbia, that unfortunately lost to Sweden, who are a world-class side in their Euro qualifiers. So she's back now with us, ready for this week as well. So, yeah, a lot of headaches for me as the head coach, but good headaches to have.
And Michael, do you feel like you're getting all this positive news on the player front, and then you combine with the fact that, I mean, against Western Sydney, I think based on expected goals, that was your best attacking game of the season so far. Your first clean sheet of the season as well. Do you really feel as though, you know, you're in a real purple patch at the moment, both on an individual and team level?
I think we've been consistently improving in our attacking third. Now, every match throws up different things. From the beginning of the season, from Perth to obviously when we just played the Wanderers. For me, I'm seeing better movements, better combinations, timing of the runs are getting better, and I don't think we're anywhere near our best. I think there's still a lot of work to be done, and we're doing a lot of reviews of our training and matches to try and even get better in those in that front third. And I think defensively, we have a lot of room for improvement as well. So we did get our first clean sheet. They had a couple of big moments which I think could have been prevented. And whether we win, lose or draw, for me the review is always the same. There's always things that we've done well that we need to understand and try and get better at. And then there's always things and areas in our game that we want to improve on. So it's a slow process of improving. You can't try and improve everything and give the players 10 different things to work on in 1 week of training. So there's a periodized plan of how we're trying to drip feed different and new ideas. And I think so far we're doing okay, but I can see a lot of upside.
And I guess the international break, obviously you were losing a bunch of players, but hearing the way that you're talking about training track, identifying different things, analysis, it feels like you're undefeated. So the cliche is that the international break came at a bad time for you because it meant you got off the park. But have you taken positives from that?
Yeah, I don't think there's any such thing as a bad time to have a week off or to play too close to each other. For me, it's about focusing on us. What we need to do every single day as individuals to get better and how we can improve as a collective. So we use every moment to improve. That's, for me, the most important thing. We prepare against every team. We give them the utmost respect. We're doing, through my staff, a full analysis of the 3-4 games leading into this match. We identify the strengths and weaknesses. We give that information to the players, but majority of the time we're focused on us and what we do well and how we're going to dictate the game on our terms.
And you've got Canberra United this Sunday. What have you identified about their strengths? Obviously not the best run of form as of late. Where can you punish them and what do you need to guard against?
Look, I having seen some of their results, maybe that's something that you would think. But when we look at the stats, and I rewatched the match against Central Coast that they just played, they dominated the ball. They had mid-50 possession. They had 23 shots to 8. Their XG was nearly 2.5 to 1. So over the course of that match, for me, they were the better side and deserved to win. And credit to Central Coast, they found a way to win, and that's always a sign of a good side. But I thought tactically they did things different to a lot of other teams in the league, which if they do the same, we'll be prepared. If they change, then we'll have to adapt.